Got a new master cylinder. It needs to be just a little bit longer. I can't see the threads in there. It's at 8 millimeters right now, and I need to shrink it down to 6 millimeters. And now this can't fall off. We almost need a different bend in this brake line.
Well, hey everybody, it's your good buddy 650 Eve here, and I'm back at Sills Motor Sales for yet another new bike build series video. And if you remember in the last episode, Zack the Master Mechanic installed some beautiful Li-Tech rear sets onto our 2021 Kawasaki ZX-10R, but he was not able to complete the job because we were missing a couple components. Well, our good buddy Miami Manny sent us those components, and in today's episode, Zack is going to finish up the installation of those fantastic rear sets, and I'm going to put that bike on the streets to see how those rear sets perform. This is all leading up to us offering either the ZX-10R or our 2021 Honda CBR 1000 Fireblade Triple RSP to one of you awesome people for supporting the new bike build series. Information on how you might be able to select one of those motorcycles to keep for yourself is down below in the description. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. If you're already a subscriber, tap that bell and you'll get notified when new content is uploaded. The sun might be out here in beautiful Cleveland, but it's still very, very chilly. So we're gonna head inside right now and see what Zack the Master Mechanic is up to. Come on.
Hey, what's up? And we're back with the Kawasaki still. Yes. We're gonna finish up our rear set install. Remember last time we ran into a couple issues. It didn't provide us with a mount for our rear reservoir, and our brake light switch doesn't use the spring type anymore. We needed a pressure one. So we received those parts from Manny. Thanks a bunch.
Yep.
We got a cool Friend Tubo carbon fiber brake line as well.
Oh yeah.
So we're gonna go ahead, since we gotta bleed the brakes out anyway, we'll install this new line.
Because this bike came with rubber lines, Zack?
Yeah, this bike does have rubber lines.
Oh, how disgusting.
So it'll definitely help with the front brake feel too, because we do already have a Brembo master cylinder. You can see that little B inscribed up there.
Oh yeah.
And we got the Brembo stylo calipers. So we're like 90% of the way to a great brake system. So we're gonna go ahead and pop this on the front. Probably, I don't know, maybe we'll make a video, maybe we won't. We'll see. And that'll firm up our brake lever feel even more and should help with any fade issues. And we get some nice black and color banjo bolts with the Friend Tubo logo, so that's always nice stuff too, just little details. Yeah. So this is our switch. This is the brake pressure switch. You can see it looks a lot like the banjo bolt for the brake line. So we're just gonna screw this into the top of the master cylinder, and then when it sees pressure, it makes, it sends a signal to the wires, and it'll allow the brake light to light up.
Oh, nice.
So we'll just hack into the wiring for that. And this is a super cool solution that we have for our rear brake reservoir issue. We got a new master cylinder.
I love it.
So this is made by Gale Speed. Can't say I've ever heard of them, but it's a pretty nice looking piece here. Looks like it's all CNC machined out of a piece of aluminum. Yeah. And then they make it comes with a couple mounts. We can choose where the mounts go, so it's very universal. It comes with different fittings for our brake reservoir to go in. Yes. But it also comes with a reservoir attachment, which is what we're going to use, because then we don't have to mount our stock reservoir anywhere. We don't have to make a bracket or anything. So I'll show you what this is going to look like. So this right here, we're going to take this out, and this is going to mount right to that.
Oh, that's going to be nice.
And then we're going to put this on the bike, and it'll hold our fluid, and we'll have a rear brake and a rear brake light. Yeah. So that's what we're going to work on today.
Nice. We get to get rid of this,
yeah, it's just going to be gone. This is going to be changed. This is the rear brake master cylinder. It's what the pedal actuates. And currently it doesn't have a return spring on it, which I never like running these things without return springs. It's all right. Yes. Most of the times the brake pedal does return by itself. This one has a built-in return spring, so that's really cool too. Nice. And if for some reason you wanted it to return faster, it comes with the second spring rate spring. Right. So that's kind of cool. So we'll see how it works out. It all looks like really nice stuff. Let's hope it works. So first thing we're going to do is get rid of all the brake fluid, because we don't want to make a mess. No. All right, so I got the fluid out. Next, since we're changing the brake line, I went ahead and broke free both banjo bolts while this is all still mounted and solid. And we'll be able to remove our stock rear brake line. We put these Friend Tubo brake lines on the Yamaha R1M, and they worked out very well. That was a very complex system to put brake lines on, but...
Yeah, Aaron Taylor still loves that bike, man. He's buying an M1000 also.
Really? Mm-hmm. Oh, that's kind of cool. I can't wait for those bikes to start coming.
Me too, man.
All right, so yeah, I guess it was just pinned against the swing arm, this rubber piece. The plastic just pinned that against the swing arm. Okay. Well, it isn't too bad. We got to figure out how to route our ABS sensor wire. We'll just use some zip ties. so that it doesn't get caught in the wheel, because it's very important to have these sensors and the sensor gap and everything set on these bikes anymore, because this is what feeds all the information in your traction control system. So when that doesn't work, nothing works on your bike.
Okay.
It's all angry. You'll see the most lights you've ever seen on your dash probably.
Oh, jeez, I hate those.
Yeah. So up next we can, this is held on with, that's where we used our snap ring pliers. So we'll pop that rod off of our rear master cylinder, and then we can remove it and get the new one back on. All right, so we got the snap ring off, and that's gonna allow us to remove this. And this would be where our hose would go in from our regular reservoir, but since we're not using that, we don't need this piece.
Okay.
And this is where our new reservoir is going to bolt to. Oh yeah, so we're gonna be something like
Look
that.
at that.
Nice.
That looks beautiful.
That looks good. I like it.
Yeah. That would look really nice on the RSV4 because the colors, you know.
Yeah. Maybe we'll have to add it.
Mm-hmm.
I think it has the same kind of, I think it doesn't have a return spring either, so it'd be nice to get this on there.
Okay.
Because I remember when we installed those, we were worried about it.
Yeah.
And that pedal kind of does have, it hangs like it has a dead spot. So now we just got to figure out where we're going to put our second mounting point at, because it comes with 3 different adapters. In our goodie bag here. And they just slide on like so, which is going to give us different spacing. You can flip them if you had close mounting positions. Okay, so we need one that's threaded. They're all threaded. Let's try this one. Nope, needs to be just a little bit longer. I can't see the threads in there. So let's try. Oh, is that different thread size? Let's try this one that way. Yep, and that looks like a winner. We can see the thread in both of them now.
Yep.
Cool. Yep. Wonder if there's anything that holds that on, or just the screw, I guess, would hold it in position. Where's that other sheet at? I think just the screw is going to hold it in position fine. Can't really go anywhere. Now we need to see, though, if we can break this free. Two 12mm wrenches here. This looks like it's a bigger thread though. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Mm-hmm. Dang it. Yeah. So that don't fit on.
Yep.
Okay. So we're gonna come to this far dark corner of the shop over here.
I've never been back here.
Where we have this ancient lathe that isn't super precise, but I think it'll be good enough to get this job done. So what we're hoping is the pin from our Light-Tech rear set, as long as this metal isn't harder than this carbide tipped mill or lathe here, we should be able to cut it. And I need to get this down from, it's at 8mm right now, and I need to shrink it down to 6mm. So I need to remove 2mm of material. And as long as it starts going well, we'll keep going. If not, we'll just see a bunch of smoke and hear a bunch of squealing, and we'll have to go back to the drawing board.
Okay.
So let's see what happens. All right, let's take a break. I'm gonna go grab a tool and we'll measure it and see where we're at. I'll be right back. All right, so we used the lathe and we dropped it down from 8 millimeters down to 5.8, which is actually a little bit too far.
Okay.
And I'm just gonna run it over to the wire wheel real quick to clean it up. First, let's do a quick fitment and see. Oh, we're good, it still doesn't fit.
Okay.
But I'm gonna clean it up on the grinder and the wire wheel anyway, and then I bet you it'll fit. Okay, before we go too crazy, let's see if it fits or not. Like my sweet new safety glasses?
I love them. I love the fact that you're wearing safety glasses.
Got them on the Snap-on truck the other day. So that says 5.8. So it should fit in here because I'm pretty sure this measured 6, didn't it? Yeah, that measures 6. All right.
Look at that.
Look at that. Cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, just because it says bolt on, it's not always bolt on.
Right.
I'm not going to be able to put the snap ring groove back in it, but when this is mounted, I'll show you, it is impossible for this to slide off of there. So I think we'll be fine because I'm not good enough to put a snap ring groove in. Sorry, all machinists out there. You guys are amazing
Okay.
at what you do. I am not.
Yeah.
All right. You can see they used a lot of Loctite at the factory there.
Yeah.
Did not want that going anywhere. Oh yeah, we messed them up pretty good. So we'll bust out our handy thread file, fix them back up.
The tools in your arsenal never cease to amaze me.
All right, so see that lines up really nicely.
Yes.
We're just gonna file through these threads here. This is gonna remove all the Loctite, and I put a couple dings in the threads because I held it with the jaw of the lathe. I knew it was gonna happen, but it was necessary. And now this will fix it up so that it'll screw right back in. Oh yeah, it's gonna go together no problem.
Look at that.
They didn't want that going anywhere, so we're gonna go ahead and put some red Loctite on it. Okay. That seems pretty ridiculously tight, which is how it was. So now we can, since I had to take the rear set off, let's just mount this setup. Oh, we gotta put our end piece back on here. Like so. And this is gonna go like so. And then, so if we need if we want to move our brake pedal height, that would be done with the threads here.
Okay.
I think we're actually pretty good, believe it or not.
Okay.
It's unfortunately wouldn't be that easy to adjust on the bike because yeah, this doesn't turn. So this is where that snap ring was, but look how long that is. I just don't see that coming off. I don't know. This one's a little flexier, but
yeah.
You know what I can do?
You can put a bolt on.
I can, well, no, because it's not threaded.
Oh.
I could thread it. That would be an option. We'd have to use a die and cut threads. That usually doesn't go very well. I could also just drill it and we could put a little hairpin clip.
Yep.
Probably not long for this world. The 1/16 drill bit.
Okay.
There we go. Now we found a nice speed that it likes to cut at. All right, that's good enough. We can up it a drill bit size anyway.
Okay.
Because we'll never find a cotter pin that small. There we go.
Oh, nice. Unbreakable.
Well, far from unbreakable, but we didn't break it that time. All right. Success. And then we'll just pop over to our parts department and we'll get a nice little cotter pin that we can put in there, and then that can't fall off of there.
Nice.
I like it. All right, so next door I got my little cotter pin, hairpin clip, whatever you want to call it. And what we're gonna do is just put that in here and then bend to one side, and we'll bend it up all the way, like so. Bend this side up all the way, like that. And now this can't fall off.
Nice.
Not that I really think it could anyway, but
yeah.
Double back, we found some nice hardware for this. We'll snug them up. I put Loctite on, we'll snug them up once we get it on the bike.
Okay.
We are now ready to put this back on the bike. A couple hours later, no problem,
Nice.
bolted right on.
Yeah.
Stuff like this does come up every so often, and it's nice that we do have the lathe and we're able to just get the job done.
Yeah.
Yeah, you might have a couple bucks tagged on extra, but at least it got done and you got it finished. Or I would have made a phone call midway through and been like, hey, you mind spending a couple extra bucks? Let me get this right, you know?
Yes.
So let's get this mounted up and get our brake line on. I don't use Loctite on a lot of fasteners, but I do like to use it on rear sets just because over the years, all the ones I've installed, if I don't use Loctite, a lot of times bolts vibrate loose.
Yeah.
A lot of the engine vibrations, I think, go through the frame right at this point, you know? So it seems to help out. And then always use Loctite on bolts that get tightened inside engines. Other than that, usually doesn't faze me, but we've had plenty of bolts just vibrate out of rear sets over the years, you know?
Yeah.
It's weird. See one other slight issue that we might run into with our brake line here. So our brake line runs that way, which is going to go right over our cover for our master cylinder.
Oh boy.
But it would pretty much do that on any motorcycle. So what were they thinking? Let's see. Maybe it'll work out just fine.
Yeah.
Here's our brake line. It says rear. And we got the little angle guy here. Where's our stock line at? Stock line has way different curves in it, but it did have that there. This through here. It's going to go into our caliper, no problem.
Okay.
This is not going to be. I'm not going to be a giant fan of this, I can tell. So we can't kink this line. It always needs to arch.
Yes.
All right. Maybe we'll ditch the factory routing altogether. Let's see. And we'll just drill a couple holes in that and zip tie it to the rear fender. I think is what we're gonna have to do. That's even pushing it though. We don't want it out in our foot. And we can't put it right over top of the cap because then you can never bleed the brakes. So we can't really have it because this is stationary with the frame. The swing arm is, we don't really want it rubbing on the swing arm because that could rub a hole in it.
Sure.
We almost need a different bend in this brake line. Straight isn't going to be any better. What were they thinking with this master cylinder?
Yeah.
Any brake line is going to go to the rear. It's for the rear.
Yes.